What's up guys, Ian here, and this is the HZ Sound Heart Mirror Pro, and this is the second version of the heart mirror. This is the original heart mirror right here, and in this video I'm going to compare these two later in the video. But now the focus is on this heart mirror Pro, and for this one, right, they are asking for $79.99 US, and I'm going to find out and let you guys know if I think whether it's worth that $79.99 US. Okay, now but before I begin, let me do a shout out to my sponsor, Keephifi. Thank you so much for sending this to me. I appreciate it very much. But guys, rest assured that whatever I say in this video is my honest opinion. This video is not scripted, and Keephifi will watch this video together with you guys. Okay, now as usual, right, I will go through the accessories, the specs, the fit and comfort, and sound test, as in my impression of the sound, and compare it with the original heart mirror, and then I'll conclude whether this is worth that $79.99 US. Okay, this video will be timestamped, so for those of you who want to skip around, feel free to do so. Okay, so let's take a look at the box first. This is a pretty nice box, a pretty huge box as well. Inside got a lot of things. So a very nice picture of the IM on the front and the back. Okay, so you got specs. Let's go through the specs. It's a 10mm single dynamic driver. Impedance is 32 ohms. Sensitivity is 110. There's a mic, so there's a -42 for the mic. Frequency response is 10 to 40,000 hertz. And that's about it. There are two cables, alright, there are two cables provided in this box. So let's take a look at what is being provided. Paperwork, of course, not gonna go through that. And a carrying case. Now this is a pretty nice carrying case. It's black in color, very stealthy, very manly. I like it very much. The zip is pretty nice, got gold trims, gold accents type of zipper. Though the zipper is not so smooth, but it's okay, it works. It's got a rubberized grip here, so it's pretty good. And it's a hard case, it protects my IEM and my cable and my ear tips. It's got a mesh elastic pocket here, and yeah, it's pretty functional, very good, and it looks good as well. Does it smell good? Let's do a smell test. It's okay lah. It's not. I think it's synthetic leather, but it's okay. It's fine. It's fine. I like it. You know. Yeah. It's a pretty good case. Now you also get this carabiner or hook, whatever you call it. Right. You can actually hook it to the case itself, and then you can hook it to your bag, so that you don't have to reach into your bag to get your IEM out. Okay. And also this is a bit hard to grip on, but yeah, they give you spare filters, right? So if your filter gets gunky, gets dirty or damaged, you can change it lah, but there's no tweezer. But yeah, okay, you can change that filter. Now let's talk about the cable, right? So there are two cables, as I mentioned, two types of cables, and this cable right here, right, this comes with a microphone, and the microphone is fixed, and it's a single braided, single core cable, and it's yeah, pretty basic cable, I would say. So if you are out and about and you just want to use your phone to connect to this IEM, answer phone calls, listen to your music, then this is the cable that's suitable for that. Terminates with 3.5 headphone jack. It's got a microphone and also a button for you to pick up your calls and play and pause your music. It's also got the pretty soft ear hooks. Okay, so no complaints on this. Ear hooks are pretty good. And then you have your chin slider and your Y splitter here. So pretty standard affair here. Now let's talk about this cable. Now this cable, if you're at your desktop, you know, at your office, and you want more options, this cable will do it. It will let you change the headphone jacks. Okay, so you have three different options. You have your 3.5, which is this one, you have 2.5, and you have the Pentacon 4.4. okay, and it's pretty easy to change. Just unplug it and you'll expose the XLR, and then you'll plug in the other one, whichever one you want to plug in, and there you go. Very easy to change the headphone jack. Now this cable is a braided cable. It's a 2-core braided cable. It's got a chin slider, all right, and Y splitter right here, right, as you can see. Now there's no microphone on this, all right, so yeah, Velcro strap to organize it, and you got your ear hooks. All right, ear hooks are pretty soft, so it's quite manageable, no problem with this, and it's a 2-pin connector. Okay, so cable wise, very good options. Yeah, they've got 2 options and very versatile. Okay, now let's take a look at the ear tips. There are 3 different types of ear tips that bit provided. Let me just sort them out. Okay, so 3 different types of ear tips. Now you have your normal ball, all right, which is the translucent one. I'm using this one. I think I'm drawn to this one. There's the narrow ball, which is the treble boosted one. Okay, and then you have the foam one, right? So 3 different types, and small, medium, large for each type. So I'm drawn to this one. I prefer to use the normal ball one. The inner core for the normal ball one, there's no color coding, but for the narrow ball, there's color coding, so you can actually remember which one you actually used. Oh, why do I take the... Okay, so different color coding, as you can see. There's orange, there's light blue. All right, so those are for the ear tips. Ear tips, okay, very good options as well. They give so many options. Now let's talk about the IEM themselves. So this one looks exactly the same as the original. In fact, let me just take the original here. Now I put my ear tips on this so that I can differentiate this, because it's exactly the same, so I don't want to mix them up. So as you can see, right, they look exactly the same. In fact, the thickness is also exactly the same. The positioning, let me take the other side. The positioning of that 2-pin connector is also exactly the same. No difference. It's just that the polish finish, right, the mirror finish, this one has got a darker tone, a darker hint to it as compared to the original one. And yeah, the inner shell is also almost the same, right? No difference. The nozzle is also the same. So yeah, so in terms of, I think the outlook of this is the same as the original lah. Okay, let's go straight to the fit and comfort. I find that this one, in terms of fit, right, it same as the original. This one, it doesn't go all the way in and then it wobbles in my ear lah. All right, so it's quite frustrating because it makes me lose my seal, because the back part here, right, it's a bit concave. As you can see, it doesn't really rest on the inside of my ear, so it's actually like jutting out a bit, and then it'll move around, and then I will lose my seal when it's moving around. And because I'm out and about, I'm walking, and then every time I have to adjust this IEM, it's quite frustrating and annoying, to be honest. Now, comfort wise, no issue with the comfort. Okay, this goes into my ear. It does not have any sharp edges that press against the inner ear. It doesn't press against the back of my ear also. So the angle of the nozzle is pretty okay. It's just a little bit too long. And yeah, so for this, in terms of comfort, no issues. And for the seal, it gives me a very good seal if I can maintain the seal. Okay, so no issues on that. Now, let's talk about the sound performance of this, and for that, let me bring out my graph. So be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and as you can see, I've graphed out these Hard Mirror Pro. Now, before I go into the details of the review, for those of you who just want to know my conclusion and not watch the entire review, then let me just go right into it. Now, basically, to conclude, this is definitely worth that $79.99 that they are asking for, based on firstly the accessories that they give, the design of this, and the sound that they produce. Okay, so based on these 3 lah, which I'll explain a little bit later in my detailed review. So the technicalities on this is above average. It's not the best, but in terms of that, yeah. Now, who is this IEM suitable for? Is more for casual listening lah. Okay, casual listening. Casual to maybe more of a bit of serious listening. Okay, that category. So you can listen to all genre. To me, I find that I can listen to all genre on this balanced type of tuning lah. So if you look at the graph, right, this is quite close to balance and quite close to the Harman target. Okay, so that's what I look out for lah. So basically, you got enough bass, enough treble, a bit of recess of the mids, and that's about it. Okay, so I find that, yeah, it's quite suitable for all kinds of genre. Now, for those of you who really are particular about the details and the resolution of a particular song, then maybe this is not suitable for you. But yeah, for those of you who are easy listening and you don't really mind the very detail of the track, then this is the IEM to go for. Okay, now let's go into the review proper. Now, basically for technicalities, right, this has got a wide soundstage. It's actually quite similar to the original hard mirror. The width, the soundstage is wide to the sides, not so much to the front, and not so much to the top, but it's got a good width lah. Okay, and its instruments are quite spaced out, but the imaging is pretty okay. It's not the best imaging, I would say. I can pinpoint certain tracks, but certain tracks I only can tell, okay, the violins are here, the pianos are here, the vocal is somewhere here. Okay, so it's somewhere there in terms of the soundstage. The detail retrieval and resolution, as I mentioned, right, is okay. It's not the best type of detail retrieval. I can pick up nuances, but not all of it. Okay, and the resolution is acceptable. It's pretty good. Yeah. So for technicalities, is alright lah. Now, tone and timbre. Now, this hard mirror, right, the original hard mirror, I find that it's a bit natural. Then for this one, is warm. Okay, so it's actually a totally different tuning as compared to the original. So I wouldn't say this is an upgrade. This is not a upgrade from the original hard mirror. Okay, so it's a warm, quite heavy note type of listening experience, sound signature. So the sound signature is close to balance, alright, and sub bass is close to Harman Target as well. So it's not the bass head type of sub bass, but it's got good rumble, good extension, and heavy note weight as well. The bloat of it is pretty okay. It does bloat a little bit to the bass shelf, but it's not very obvious. It's not too much. Okay, the mid bass is also warm and heavy note weighted, and the punch, right, is a fast and effective punch, a very good and warm type of punch. So yeah, very engaging, right? Very engaging type of bass, I would say. When I listen to bass songs with bass on this, is a very engaging type of bass. It's not a quality bass, but it's a very warm, engaging bass. Now, it does bleed into the mids, right? The mid bass does bleed into the mids a little bit, but that's expected. Okay, now for the mids, right, I would say is recessed, is veiled, it's got too much bass, and the bass does veil the instruments lah. So instruments will lose that clarity and that nuances when I listen to my tracks, and basically they have that laid back type of feel to me lah when I listen to it. So if you like this type of laid back, warm, heavy note weighted tuning, then this is a very good tuning. Actually there's nothing wrong with this tuning. Okay, I'm not saying that the instruments are so far behind you can't. It's actually not about distance. It's about the space of the frequency in this frequency lah, basically. So if the bass is elevated, then obviously the instruments, they will not have that space to be in front. Okay, so instruments, they do sound warm lah, okay, and they have got that warm tone to it, easy listening type of tone, casual listening. Now for vocals, male vocals, they have got that warm authority, right, and that engaging tone, right? They've got warm, engaging tone, which I hear, and I like listening to male vocals on this. So male vocals, they really shine on this IEM. Very good listening experience, and very engaging and very emotionally connecting type of listening experience. But for female vocals, on the other hand, I want more energy. All right, female vocals, I want more bite. All right, I want more sparkle. I'm looking for that sparkle for female vocals, which I think this one is not giving me. But yeah, I wish for more of that sparkle there. The in terms of the presence the presence of the female vocals. Okay, so for male vocals, I prefer on this, not so much on the female vocals. Now for the treble is, I would say, a little bit the gain of the treble, right? I find that the energy is a little bit cut off, right? I find that it's not so energetic as compared to the original hard mirror. Okay, I want more energy and more brightness to this hard mirror Pro. At the same time, I want a bit more clarity as well. Currently, I find that this treble is a little bit on the darker side, and is it's not as engaging as I would hope it would be. But the roll off is pretty good. It gives the treble has got a pretty good air. It's got a good roll off and pretty natural roll off. Cymbal strikes and hi hats, they've got that natural extension. I've got no complaints on that. But it's just that the presence of it, the presence of the treble, and the brightness of the treble, and that bite of that treble, which I look out for. So far, I'm not getting it from this one, but for the original, on the other hand, I'm getting the brightness. I'm getting it comes to a point whereby it peaks, right? It's a little bit too peaky, too harsh. But for this one, it's not there. I'm not saying not there, but it's not enough. Okay. Right, so that's for the treble. So overall, right, I find that this Heart Mirror Pro is not exactly an upgrade from the original Heart Mirror. So now comparing these two, right, let's open up the graph for the original Heart Mirror. You can compare the sub bass lah. You can see for yourself, okay, the sub bass on the original Heart Mirror, it's more linear, right? The Mirror Pro is elevated by about 10 dB. So 10 dB is a lot of difference, okay? You can actually feel that bass, the presence of the bass on the new Pro. And then the mid bass also is more as compared to the original. Now, and that's where I find that this new tuning is actually a new tuning. It's not a refinement of the original. So this new tuning, it's more bloated lah in terms of the sub bass. But it's becoming more of a fun and casual listening experience than this. This one is more for clinical and more analytical listen. All right, this one is more fun listen. Okay, so it's not detailed. Right, no, it's not very detailed and resolute IEM, but it's got that tuning that gives you the opportunity to listen to more of your mids lah, as compared to the Heart Mirror Pro. Okay, so that's where it's changed. And then for the treble, right, as I mentioned, the treble, it's got a lot of presence here. If you look at the upper mids here for the original is the red liner. So it's got more presence, more gain, all right, to the treble itself. It gives more bite as compared to the Heart Mirror Pro. And then for the presence region, right, it's got a bit less than the original. Okay, now the mid treble, this is where they tuned it a lot less than the original. So the Heart Mirror Pro, right, it becomes darker, right? I'm not saying it's dull, blunt. It's not blunt. It's still a nice and bright treble, or it's darker than the original, but it's too dark for me. Okay, so I want a bit more brightness to the treble. Not so much on the original, right? Maybe somewhere in between lah. Okay, now the air and the extension, as you can see, right, it's got it's a bit more, right? And good extension lah, I would say, for the airiness and the extension of the Pro. Okay, so that concludes my overall impression and comparison with the original Heart Mirror. And I think that is worth that $79.99 if you are a casual listener and an easy listener. Okay, you want more of a casual listening experience. Right, so that is all. Thank you so much, guys, for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and also please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Right, so that's it for now. I hope you guys have a great day ahead, and I'll see you again in my next video. Cheers.